Hey everybody, this is Smgs here, or Seagulls are Cool, or Burner Field, and today we're back with another video. This video is going to be my Black Ops 3 competitive weapon tier list. Let's get right into it. Quickly, I'll explain the tier list. Great. S is the best in the world. A+, you're going to see the most of it. A is just pure balance. B+, so depending on the maps and how many attachments, that's the same for normal B. C, it needs a certain skill gap. And D, it's just bad. Alright, so let's get started into this. First, we're going to start off with the SMGs. Kuda. A+. It's great. This thing is so good in comp. It's the backup to the VMP. I love it. It's so good. This is my personal preference of a submachine gun because it's long range, it's medium range, and short range. So, Kuda, A+. VMP, S tier. It's the best. It's technically the best sub in the game. This thing is dominant. It's literally pure destruction. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's such a good gun. The iron sights are perfect. You don't need an iron sight for it. All you really need is a grip and quick draw on this, and you can, if you want to, you can throw on a long barrel of stock. S tier for sure. VMP S tier. Weevil B. In competitive, this thing for some reason needs so many attachments for people to do good again with it against the VMP. It's so close to C because I feel like you need a good, I guess you can say skill gap to be good with this gun, but really, Weevil, 100% is Weevil is for sure a B tier. Next is the Vesper. Vesper's B+. It needs some attachments in competitive. It needs grip. It needs quick draw. It needs extended mags. And honestly, you need fast mags. So that's what makes it B+. I was thinking about putting it B because of how many attachments, but this thing is still a good gun. You know, even after they nerfed it, this thing is a good gun. Man, B+, Vesper. Pharaoh, A+. This thing, all you need on it is a quick draw, a long barrel, or a quick draw and a rapid fire, and this thing is amazing. You only need 2 attachments on this thing, and one of them is in grip. This thing is great. This was actually going to be the competitive SMG of the game, but the VMP took over. But Pharaoh for sure, A+ tier, just such a good weapon. Razorback B, you need so many attachments on this in competitive. I want to put it higher because I love this gun, but Razorback is B. Next, move on to assault rifles. Assault rifles, KN-44, B+. In competitive, this thing has comparing to casual, competitive, this thing has dropped down, and that is because you need attachments on it to face the other ones above it, and it needs a lot of attachments actually. And so KN-44, you've dropped down like around 2. So I feel like you need a lot of attachments to counteract some of the other assault rifles, and some of the maps need to be right. KN-44 B+. XR2, another B+. This thing, this one isn't really much about the assault or about the attachments, because you could use the same amount of attachments for other assault rifles that are better than it, but it really just depends on certain maps. It's weirdly saying the XR2 needs certain maps to be good. It needs maps with a lot of kind of diagonal play, and a lot of upwards and downwards play. It's weirdly strange, but that's how you need to play with an XR2. Next, we'll move on to HVK. In competitive, this thing needs so many attachments. It is B tier. This thing needs, oh my god, it needs so many attachments to counteract. Because, and it depends on the map. There's like only a few maps I can say that is godlike on this, with this gun. That's Breach and Redwood. Though I can see that this gun's shining on those maps, but like besides that, I don't know. Same with this gun. So many attachments, and I can only think of a couple maps that this thing does good on. Infection and French. That's about it, because then only a few spots on each of those maps. It doesn't really have a short range, which is needed for great assault rifles. Yeah, and you need a good amount of attachments on this. So ICR is B tier. Next, we move on to the Man of War. Man of War is A+. This thing is great. You don't need that many attachments as much as people say. A lot of people say you need a lot of attachments on the Man of War. You really don't. You need grip, stock, and red dot, or you can just take off grip, put on quick draw, or put on long barrel. I don't think it really needs that much attachments. This thing is A+. It's great. It's the backup to the M8. It's the backup to the M8. It's that simple. Next, Shiva, S tier. This thing is way too strong and competitive. In competitive where you need the edge over your opponent, this is the edge over your opponent. It's too powerful. The last thing in assault rifles is the M8A7. This thing is S tier. It is just way too strong. No assault rifle can compete with it. It's long range, medium range, short range, 4-round burst. Barely needs any attachments on it. You could run this thing with a red dot and a stock and literally go off. M8A7, 100% S tier. Next, we're on shotguns. The shotguns, KRM is S tier. I put this at S tier because, really, if you play it right, this thing has the edge over your opponent's, like, 100%. This thing is S tier if you really think about it in your head. This thing is S tier because it's a one-shot kill at close ranges, and a lot of times you can hold down a bomb site with close ranges in SND or a hill for hardpoint. It's great. And also, you can kill ball with on uplink with it in around 2 shots compared to your 4 or 5. So that way you're taking less shots, and that way it's quicker to kill. KRM is S tier. Brecci, it's B+. It needs some attachments. It's almost A. This thing needs attachments, though. It needs them. You can't just run this thing with a laser sight. You need a long barrel. You need a rapid fire. You need a fast mags. So yeah, it's B+. A+ for the Haymaker. This thing, in competitive, does not need that many attachments for what it's supposed to do. This thing is supposed to be a hill breaker. This thing is supposed to be a bomb site lockdown. The only reason why it is not S tier is because it is not a one-shot kill. So Haymaker, A+. Argus, C tier. This thing has a huge skill gap for competitive. And if you miss with this gun, you're done. You don't get a second chance against competitive players. So you like sometimes the maps F you over, but like honestly, this thing just has a huge skill gap. So that's what makes it C tier. Light machine guns, we're gonna go with the BRM. BRM is B+. It needs one more attachment than it should. It needs one more attachment than it should to be a good light machine gun. And really the attachments you need on this are. You need a red dot, in my opinion. You need a rapid fire because this thing shoots so slow. You need a fast max. You need a stock. This thing needs so many attachments. So that's why it is a B+. Dingo, this thing is great. It's balanced. You only need like 2 or 3 attachments on this. It can be used on multiple maps. It's just balanced. It's good. Next, we're gonna go with the Gorgon. Gorgon C tier. The skill gap is too high. It's too high for competitive. It's literally too high. You need to be patient with it. You need to have good aim. The good aim isn't the problem or patience. It's just the skill gap is too high to be placed in a certain role on a map or a game mode or just a situation. So Gorgon is C tier. 48 Dredge, S tier. I'm still putting this thing at S tier, even though it's been put through bans. And I'm for certain I'm for certain this thing is allowed. I'm pretty sure. I went on the UMG website, didn't see anything about it being banned. And I went on the CWO rule set for this, and it's not banned. So I'm imagining it's not banned. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this thing is strong. But I think the reason why you don't see it is because people think it's too strong to put in use. It's kind of like a gentleman's agreement, I'd say. It's kind of like an M8 on steroids. That's the best way to put it. So 48 Dredge is S tier. You could put it A+. You know, go A+ of it. 48 Dredge, A+ tier. A+. Sniper rifle, Dracon, B+. You need a couple attachments on this motherfucker. I'm sorry, but this thing needs so many attachments when it comes to situations. I don't put it at B because it's kind of like a weird thing. So like if you put a Elo on it, you need stock. You need rapid fire. If you put a Varix on it, you need FMJ. You need this. There's so many situations. It's not so many attachments on one class. It's kind of like, let's go into this. If you put recon on it, you need extended mags in my opinion, and you need FMJ for recon. Then if you put on thermal, all you need is a little bit of a stock. That's it. But if you go over to Elo, you need that rapid fire, you need that stock, and you need that fast max. There's so many different combinations that make it a B+. Next, we are going to the Locust. Locust is A+. tier. This thing is balanced. It sometimes it hits markers, sometimes it doesn't. It's perfect. I love it. It's the backup to the SVG. It's a good weapon. And next we go on the Po6. Po6. The skill cap way too high. It's way too high. There's barely any situations for it. The delay of the shot ruins it. It could have been a great gun. C tier. Skill cap way too high. SVG 100. A+. It's a good weapon. It's a good weapon. It's the best sniper in the game. It's a go-to snipe. The reason why it's not S tier is you need a sight on it. That's the only reason why. Locust, you don't need a sight on it. SVG, you need a sight on it. That's why it is A+ tier and not S. So SVG is an A+ sniper, best sniper in the game. Now we move on to secondaries real quick. MR6, B+. It needs a attachment on it. Like, pistols should not need an attachment on it, but this one does. You either need a quick draw, a long barrel, or extended mags for this thing to really do work, or you just catch a guy off guard with this, because the fire rate's way too slow, the aim in's pretty slow, and the reload isn't bad, but it just, I don't know, this thing is B+. RK5, A+. It's the best, it's in my opinion, the best pistol in the game. You don't need any attachments on this thing for it to be good. You could put extended mags on it, yeah, but it doesn't matter if you don't. It's literally, this is what you do if you pull out your AR when you need a close range weapon. This is the pinnacle of the best pistol, and maybe the best pistol in, like, COD recent years. Next, moving to L-Car A+. It's good, it's balanced. There's some things that make it not A+. There's some things that makes it not B+. And that's why it's A. It's good. It can be countered. You can counter someone. It's good. It's A. Launchers are not allowed competitive. Well, duo melee is allowed, and no specials allowed. So that is it with the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this weapon tier list 2-part series. I had fun making this. Quickly, I had to go into private matches and to test some things. I wanted to test the fire rate of a couple guns. I did it quickly because I really want to get this video out to you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later.